This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather Ho there, it's Joe Codamo. Welcome to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today is September 18th. Is a disgraced cyclist. Everyone will know who I mean when I say disgraced cyclist. There's only one person who could be described that. Although he was celebrated for winning 7 straight Tour de France victories from 1999 to 2005, when in fact no cyclist had done it 5 times, at least not consecutively. Well, consecutively was in the run. It was pretty good and all that, but unfortunately, doping problems would get to him. He lost everything. He lost his titles. He lost his prizes for his cycling races. He lost sponsorships, deals. Heck, he even lost the chance to to have his favorable Arthur episode be pulled off the air. So anyhow, it's Lance Armstrong, who is now 53 years old today. He was born in Richardson, Texas. And anyway, well, he was actually born Lance Gunderson. But when his parents divorced, Lance took his stepfather's surname, Terry Armstrong. So anyway, he was a good triathlete and all that. He was a decent triathlete and all that. By 1992, he decided to join professional with the cycling team, the Motorola team, which was his successor at the 7-Eleven team. He actually won 10 one-day events, and his breakthrough victory was the road race victory, the World Championships in Norway. He actually won a stage at the Tour de France in 93, the Verdun stage. But anyway, anything happened and all that. Armstrong took second in the Tour de Pont, which was the biggest cycling event in the U.S. And he looked pretty good and all that. So anyway, Armstrong had said he started to begin doping by 1995. So he was decent before 1995 even. He won the Tour de Pont. And we had some stuff in Europe, including a stage win in Tour de France at Limoges. Anyway, he won the Tour de Pont again. Could only compete in 5 days at the Tour de France in 96. Took 6th in the time trial of the Olympic Games and 12th in the road race. He actually signed a deal with a French cycling team, the Cofidis cycling team. But then he was diagnosed with advanced testicular cancer. In October 1996, at age 25, he was diagnosed with stage 3 testicular cancer. The cancer spread to his lymph nodes, lungs, brain, and abdomen. Armstrong visited a urologist for diagnosis of his symptoms, including a headache, blurred vision, coughing up blood, and a swollen testicle. The next day, he had to remove the deceased testicle. He was basically given little to no hope of surviving and all that. So Armstrong went to the Indiana Medical Center in Indianapolis to get his treatment. He would get a massive cocktail of drugs to help deal with his chemotherapy cycle. So anyway, it was huge and all that. His final chemotherapy treatment took place December 13th, 1996. He was declared cancer-free by February 1997, which was shocking and all that. So anyway, he would go for the U.S. Postal Team and all that. Well, before his cancer treatment, he participated in 4 Tour de France races, winning only 2 stages. Anyway, by 1998, he started to make a massive comeback. He contemplated retirement, returning to Texas, and he entered seclusion. Anyway, Lamont, well, Lance Armstrong had a charity race for cancer research in Austin, Texas. And he got Greg LeMond, Sean Kelly, and Miguel Indurain to bike and all that. He went through and won the Tour of Luxembourg, and took 5th at the Porto a España, the Spanish Tour. In 1999, he won the Tour de France. Well, he won 4 stages, but won the whole thing. He beat Alex Sewell by 7 minutes. However, Jan Uhrich, who was out with an injury, and Marco Pantani with drug allegations, didn't compete. So Armstrong had not proven himself against the biggest medal in sport and all that. So regardless of that, he did all right. Ullrich and Pantani were cleared to face Armstrong for the 2000 version. Armstrong beat Ullrich by 6 minutes. He only won 1 stage in the tour, and then took 3rd at the men's road time trial thing at the Sydney Olympics. Anyway, Armstrong in 2001 again won Tour de France, winning by 6 minutes 44 seconds. And Ullrich did not compete in the 2002 version because of suspension, so Armstrong beat Josipa Baloki. So anyway, Armstrong beat Ullrich in 2003. Armstrong beat Andres Clodin in 2004. Ullrich was 4th. So he did what he could. 2005, he was just happy and all that, and he had champagne with his US Postal Discovery teammates on the final stage. He decided to retire after the 2005 Tour de France, saying that he needed to spend more time with his family and foundation. He actually wanted to return to pro cycling by 2008 to participate in the 2009 Tour de France. It was announced that he would race for no salary or bonuses and would have his internally tested blood results online. Anyway, he tried his best and all that. Unfortunately, he broke his collarbone at an event in Spain. He was back training on a bicycle within 4 days of his operation. So anyway, there were some problems. The French anti-doping agency, all that. But anyway, he raced in the 2009 Tour de France and actually finished 3rd place. Andy Schleck and Alberto Contador were the only 2 to beat him. So it was weird how Armstrong would take 3rd, even though he was away from cycling pretty much for 4 years. And then he decided to come back for 2010. So anyway, he would say that the 2010 edition would be his final Tour de France and all that. He actually finished in 23rd place at the last Tour de France he would compete in. Sponsors were laying up left, right, and center. Trek, Nike, AMG, Shimano, Giro, and Oakley would make him be sponsors. Of course, for most of his career, Armstrong faced persistent allegations of doping. He denied every allegation until 2013, despite claiming he never had any positive tests. And the drug test he's taken over his career, which was weird because, Tour de France probably would have expelled him. There were a lot of things and all that. Anyway, yeah, all that. Armstrong said he was practically given lots of tests, unannounced too. By 2004, a lot of people were questioning him that he had used performance-enhancing drugs. Yeah. So anyway, there'd be a lot of things and all that. The Sunday Times in December 2012 actually filed suit for $1.5 million against Armstrong because of a settlement to do with a newspaper thing. In 2005, the Tour de France urine test came in. But August 23rd, L'Equipe, the French daily sports paper, reported on its front page under a message, the Armstrong lie, that 6 urine samples taken from the cyclist during the prolonged and 5 stages of the Tour de France, frozen and stored at a laboratory, tested positive for EPO. Recent retesting conducted. He didn't like it any more than anything. Things would hound him. There was a federal investigation in 2010. In a series of emails, Floyd Landis admitted to doping and accused Armstrong and others of doing the same. Based on the allegations, the federal prosecutors led an investigation into possible crimes conducted by Armstrong and the cycling team. The Food and Drug Administration was also involved in this. Armstrong did hire a criminal defense attorney to represent him in the investigation. But on February 3rd, 2012, there were no charges and all that. Anyway, he did give a limited confession and all that. So he gave a massive interview with Oprah Winfrey, January 2013, which she just basically asked him, yes or no, did you use steroids through the Tour de France? Yes. Did you use steroids in any other purpose? Yes. So anyway, it was a limited confession and all that. He said he crossed the line last in 2005 and denied pressuring teammates into doping himself. Of course, after the Oprah interview and the U.S. Anti-Doping Association's findings, all his Armstrong sponsors dropped him. He lost $75 million of income in one day, if you will, sponsorship income. Nike would cut all ties to Livestrong. It's just like shocking. So a lot of things happen. So anyway, at first, he met Kristen Richard, marrying, and had 3 children, a son and twin daughters. The pregnancies were actually made possible through sperm Armstrong banked 3 years earlier, before chemo and surgery. So practically through that sperm, he could have kids. The couple were divorced in 2003. So it would be amazing. But then they divorced in 2005. Well, divorced in 2003. Lance dated Sheryl Crow. and their engagement, but then split by 2006. And then Armstrong dated Anna Hansen. And a lot of people said Armstrong could not father children due to having gone chemo for testicular cancer. The child was conceived naturally. They have 2 kids and were married in 2022, so he has 5 kids. Yeah, he was known for the Livestrong Foundation and all that, raising awareness, and raised over $325 million from the sale of yellow bracelets and all that, which is pretty impressive and all that. A lot of media and stuff and all that. He was in a few movies: Dodgeball, True Underdog Story, You Mean Dupree, and The Armstrong Lie. A lot of documentaries based off it, including a 30 for 30 in 2020, just titled Lance. Lots of accolades, all that, but we all know that those are now said to be false. False. Very, very false. Of course, the thing I'm alluded to in the start, the Arthur episode, was the one called The Great McGrady, when it was revealed that Mrs. McGrady, the lunch lady at the school, was undergoing cancer treatments and all that. The kids try to process the information. Francine takes it the hardest because she had a grandfather who died of cancer and never came home from the hospital, so she's racked with worry. Muffy is oblivious, as almost always. Arthur and DW try to take care of Mrs. McGrady by bringing her soup and all that, but she says that their presence is helping her get better and all that. So yeah, Francine has nightmares about the situation, and then Lance Armstrong pops out of nowhere to talk to her because Lance Armstrong had cancer himself. And Francine's like, I can't believe it. You seem so healthy. And then Lance tells Francine that being a good friend is to visit her in the hospital and to do what she has to do is right. And so Francine understands it, and Mrs. McGrady comes back with her cancer being in remission. Now, that was a great episode. The reason why I was yanked was, Lance Armstrong just being stupid and all that. I mean, it robbed Arthur fans of seeing an episode to deal with cancer and all that and make children understand about cancer. That's the terrible thing. But it had to do with Lance Armstrong. It had nothing to do with cancer stuff. So Arthur, years later, would actually reanimate Lance Armstrong's stuff that was in the Arthur episode and replace him with a fictional wrestler called Uncle Slam, who also had cancer and all that. So you could tell the automation was crisper than the original stuff, but that's all I gotta say. He's a cheat. He's a cheat. He's a stupid cheat. That is Lance Armstrong. He's a stupid cheat. Anyhow, I'm gonna do.